I've got the biggest challenge of the night, 8 minutes, 19 seconds to go till we start the second half. I've got Coach Jack Butcher, Coach Joe Todrank, and Coach Dave Omer with me. So I'm going to start with Joe Todrank, if that's all right with you guys. Kind of the new guy back in this area. But, Coach, if you would, just talk a little bit about I'm going to talk about Coach Butcher now. Whenever you coached against him, think back. What are some of the memories of some of those games that you actually coached?
Well, the memories I have is because most of them were losses. That's the ones I can remember the most. Now, Jack and I, we had a great friendship off the court. On the court, pretty bitter rivalries. I think that the two programs paralleled each other as the years went by. Not the fact that Loogootee's program got weaker, but I think Loogootee's got stronger. And we had some great times. Loogootee won the majority of them. But I think that they were very close games, very highly contested games, and very much of a fan favorite time.
And Coach Butcher, same question to you. When you think of the games against Coach Joe Todrank, what are some of the thoughts that come to mind?
Well, there's a lot of great challenging and very competitive games. You knew every time you went out to play against a Joe Todrank team that's going to be well prepared, and you might jump out to a lead, but you knew before the night was over it was going to be a barn burner. And that tradition has kind of continued even today. And I'm sure, even though we've got a 6-point lead, it's going to be a barn burner before it's over with. And one of the great things I think about, playing against Joe and Dave is that even though you were very competitive and you wanted to win very badly, you could always walk away and be friends. And that's one of the greatest things I think that we can take away from coaching, is the people we meet and the guys like Dave and Joe to remain friends and, for the rest of your life.
And Coach Omer, congratulations on your state title. Congratulations on your retirement. I'll ask you a little bit different question. You succeeded Joe Todrank down at Barr-Reeve. When you did that, the program was certainly on the rise, so you had some big shoes to fill.
Ray, you're right. I walked into a real nice situation. Joe got the program in great shape. All I had to do was just maintain it and not try to do something to destroy it. And we had a great 8 years there. I enjoyed every bit of it. And playing against Coach Butcher was always a challenge. And probably the toughest coach I ever coached against, trying to win a basketball game. He just did an outstanding job, and I've admired him from a distance for many years.
I'll concur with that sentiment of Dave's, too. Let me say something about Dave. When Dave came to me to talk about going to Barr-Reeve to see me, I told him, I said, it's going to be a very simple situation. All you got to beat Loogootee is a couple times, and they're going to say, Joe who?
Yeah. Took a long time to say that, Joe who.
Well, let's talk about Joe Todrank a little bit. From your perspective, we have maybe some younger viewers who weren't here. Talk about the years that you were here and some of the excellent ball players that came from Barr-Reeve during that time.
Well, I don't want to talk about any individual player because certainly we can't mention them all, but I was at Barr-Reeve 2 different stints from 1966 through 71. I was asked to leave Davis County at that time, and I came back in 75, and then I stayed through 84. Had some great times there. Playing Loogootee, we would always look forward to it, and playing the Hatchets, it was just a great time, and it's wonderful memories, and tonight just takes me back 25 years.
Well, class basketball or no class basketball, you can only fit so many seats in these seats. And tonight they've done it again with Loogootee and Barr-Reeve.
I was thinking a while ago, we went to the Hall of Fame Classic here, just after Christmas, and I don't think it had near the atmosphere that this game and this crowd has tonight.
As it does every year. Let's talk a little bit about the old tournament at the Hatchet House. I know they were exciting times for us fans. Again, I know there's a lot of memories, and it's difficult to ask if anyone sticks out, but Coach Omer, I'll ask you first. Talk about Coach Butcher, maybe in some of the games that you played against him at the Hatchet House.
Well, the one that comes to mind the most, and I talked to Jack about this summer, is up in the sectional, I believe it was the semifinals. We were at the free throw line, like with a 1-point lead, and had Devon Knapp, the best shooter in the county, at the line with 2 free throws. And they take the ball. He missed them both. They take the ball, go down the other end. We get them stopped. They shoot a jump shot. A kid comes flying in the third row. The bleacher tips it in, wins the ball game. That's the one I remember the most.
Outstanding coaching. Outstanding coaching.
I believe that kid's name was Rob Berry.
I can tell you the one I remember the most was in 1980. Of course, Barr-Reeve won the first sectional there, but I don't remember that game as well as I do the night before when the Washington Catholic beat a great Loogootee team.
Oh, and you had to bring that one up.
Well, to this day, we can say that Barr-Reeve backdoored it, but you take them any way you can get it. Yeah. But that was certainly a big memory for me to see Washington Catholic beat Jack.
Well, I remember, one that I remember we lost, incidentally, and we had a good basketball team at the middle part of the year when we went down and won the Jasper tournament. But we had some sickness, we had some back trouble, and again, it was against Barr-Reeve, and the seats were on the end of the floor, even though it was the new Hatchet House. And, I took out a handkerchief to blow my nose, and I dropped it, and the referee called a technical foul.
That's just unbelievable.
And I can tell you what year that was. That was Steve Brent was a player at that time, and that was the 1966-67 season.
What about opposing coaches whenever you play Loogootee, and there's the tap, and here comes the ball back out, and we're just holding the ball? How frustrating can that be?
Well, you got to be prepared for it, and everybody knows that that's Loogootee style. And I might add that when a school had the success that Loogootee did, and only 6 miles away from Barr-Reeve, it didn't take an Einstein to go over and copy some things. And so we certainly went over and copied their program, or tried to copy it a little bit. And we knew what was coming, and so we decided, well, if they can do it, why can't we? So sometimes we had some low-scoring games.
Coach Omer, what about you when that would happen?
Well, as Joe said, you knew it was coming. You had to be prepared for it. So I think part of the danger of that thing is it makes you work all week getting ready for it, whether it works or not. You got to spend all week long trying to get prepared for it. And it takes away from your game, and you come in here and you have to chase the basketball. It's very tough to do, and I still remember the Loogootee Columbus North. What year was that?
Oh, yeah, 75.
That might have been the best basketball game I ever saw when they just scissored them to death.
They did, and I remember the week before against Seymour. You played pretty well, too, did you not?
Well, we had some good ones, at the semi-state and the state finals against Columbus. But anyway, they've been great times. My gosh, if you could really digress back and flash all those memories in front of you, it'd be amazing.
Well, as we said, there are sequels to books, Coach Butcher.
Jack emulated Jimmy Valvano, or Valvano emulated Butcher after they beat Seymour that year, and then when Valvano's North Carolina State team won the NCAA. That's as excited as I've ever seen him.
I believe I did that before Valvano.
Yeah, looking for someone to hug.
Yeah, there you are. And Rita wasn't around.
Coach Omer, how's retirement? Are you itching to get back out there?
No, I think I'm done. 40 years is enough, and I think I'm going to be satisfied doing what I'm doing. And I'm not saying I'm not going to do something in the future, but I don't know what. But maybe Jack or Joe will get them a big job, and I can be their errand boy or whatever.
Hey, you can always write a book.
Did you hear what he said? 40 years is enough. Do you believe that, Coach Butcher?
Well, I'll tell you, just after about 4 or 5 years out, you might think, I just wonder if I could do that again.
Yeah, I can understand that. I still have that itch, but I think I just take an aspirin and go back to bed.
I'm a lot better coach sitting in the stands.
Well, we better let you get back to the stands because this one's going, guys. I told you it was challenging. I appreciate it very much. Coach Jack Butcher, Coach Joe Todrank,
Thank you.
Coach Dave Omer. Thank you guys very, very much.
Thank you.
My pleasure.